Okay, welcome to the LOD test facility. What we've set up here is a little obstacle course for our rear view parking sensors. The Jeep we've got here has got 35-inch by 12.5 Nito Ridge grapplers on the back. Our obstacle course is made up of 2x4, some gravel, another 2x4, and two cardboard boxes. The one on the driver's side is about a foot closer. Okay, so first off, we're going to start out with the stock tire carrier. The stock OEM bumper with sensors mounted. Everything's in the exact factory position. We're going to test with our 2x4s and our gravel and our boxes back here, and we're going to see how these factory sensors perform under this little obstacle course. Okay, we're getting ready to perform this test with the factory rear bumper sensor positions. No tire on the tire carrier, so we can see just how the sensors perform. So we're rolling. Got the first 2x4 coming into view here, and it looks like we're picking it up. Got the gravel rocks coming into play. Our second 2x4. Looks like we got a little trigger hit there. And then we've got our boxes. So we got a center sensor trigger. Should get a driver's side trigger. Yep. That's that. Okay, so this time we've got the OEM bumper factory sensors in place. We've reinstalled the tire onto the OEM tire carrier, but the only difference with this setup is that we did have to raise the tire up 2 inches using our tire riser to make it actually fit with the stock bumper. So in this case, the tire is higher 2 inches than sport stock. And we've got our obstacle course with the same 2x4s and same gravel, everything in the exact same positions, and we're going to test it out and see how well it does. Okay, so we're starting with our stock bumper with the tire on the tire carrier. It is raised 2 inches using our tire riser. We are running a 35-inch by 12.5 Nito Ridge grappler on the back, and we're going to test these sensors and see how they do with our obstacles. So we're rolling back. Our first 2x4 coming into view, and we've got our first trigger on a 2x4. We'll keep going. We got our gravel rocks coming into view, and our second 2x4, we've got a trigger. Yep, we're triggering on that second 2x4. And our boxes, we should trigger on the driver left. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so for this test, we've taken the tire off. We've got the reverse camera in the same position. Sensors, test conditions, everything's all the same. We're just going to roll this out of the way and perform the same test again. Alright, got the same test again, this time without the tire. Throw it into reverse. And you can see off in the distance here, we've got the 2x4 coming up. Start rolling. No false triggers yet. Seems like this time we're not triggering on that first 2x4. With the gravel. Looks like we got a trigger on the gravel. Small blip. Second 2x4. Looks like we're picking that one up now. Yep. Triggering on that second 2x4. And 2x4's out of range. And should pick up the first driver's side box. There we go. Keep going back. Triggering on the boxes. Should get a driver's side trigger right about now. Yep. So we got driver's side trigger and solid red. So there we go. Alright, same test conditions. Got the Jeep in reverse. No sensor triggers, no false triggers at the moment. You can kind of see here on the screen the first 2x4 off in the green. We'll start rolling back. Got our first trigger on the 2x4 in the yellow here. Keep going. Still triggering off that first 2x4. And it's out of range. Coming into the screen now is the gravel. Got a trigger on the gravel. Start rolling back again. Still triggered off the gravel there. Second 2x4. Got a trigger on the second 2x4 now. Getting a little closer. And 2x4's out of range, so we should be triggering on the driver's side box. And that's what we've got here. Center trigger. Keep going back. Getting closer. Now we'll get a driver's side trigger right now. Which is the way it's supposed to be. A little bit closer. And we got a solid red trigger on the driver's side box. Just to show you again what the conditions were. Destroyer Tire Carrier, 35" by 12.5. Nito Ridge grappler. The tire itself sticks out approximately 12.5 inches from the tire carrier. And the height of the tire off the wheel well is approximately 6 inches. And from the radius of the tire to the first sensor is approximately 7 inches. So what we had here is a test condition on a smooth concrete floor with several objects here that are shown to trigger the sensors. And the reason we did this on a smooth concrete floor is because the outside variations, locations vary, and we found that different terrain, whether it's gravel or grass, variations in the surface can trigger the sensors. Alright, so for this test, same conditions as before. We took the tire off. The only difference is this time we removed our gravel and our 2x4, so we have no longer any obstructions on the ground, and we're going to go straight back towards those boxes. So we're rolling. No false triggers, which I wouldn't expect. We don't have any 2x4s or gravel on the ground. And coming up to the boxes, we should be picking the driver's side up right about now. There we go. Got the driver's side box. And now we got a driver's side trigger and a solid red trigger. Go. Okay, so we've got the same test conditions. Got the tire on the back, removed all the obstacles from the floor. No false triggers, so we're going to start rolling back now. So far so good, no false triggers. Should be coming up to the driver's side box here. A trigger here, there we go. We're picking up the boxes now. Keep going back. And there's our driver's side trigger. A little bit more. And there we go, solid red trigger. Okay, so now we're outside. We're on a gravel drive. We're gonna test our stock bumper with the 35-inch by 12.5 Nito spare tire on the OEM carrier. The carrier is raised 2 inches to fit with the stock bumper, but we're gonna test these sensors out and see how they work. In reverse. Okay, there's nothing behind me, but it looks like we're triggering on some gravel. Yep. Keep going here. Yeah, getting a few false triggers here. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to roll on up here to another position. See if I can get a little bit farther away from some of that stuff behind us. Even though it was way out of view, it should have been not picked up by the sensors. We'll try it here. Yeah, looks like we got false triggers. Yeah, false trigger. All right. Okay, so now we're on the pavement, the asphalt county road here. We've got our OEM bumper with sensors and the OEM carrier. We're gonna throw it in reverse here and check these sensors and see if we get any false triggers. So we're rolling back. So far so good on the pavement. Okay, here we are outside. We're on a gravel drive. It's pretty heavy duty gravel. We'll throw it in reverse here. It automatically gets some triggers off the gravel. I'll go ahead and back up a little bit. It's obviously triggering off the gravel. So we're on a paved county road, rode in reverse, and we've got false triggers. Back up a little bit here. False trigger went away. Doing the same thing. So far so good. Drive forward here a little bit. Try it in another spot. So I threw it in reverse, and we had a false trigger. Got false triggers. I'm rolling backwards. So drive forward here and turn around. Throw it in reverse. Okay, I've got a false trigger. Backing up to a guardrail. It's about 6 feet back from the edge of the asphalt. I'm constantly going off. I think we're triggering now off of the grass, but now so it's stopped. We have no false triggers at the moment. And now we've got a trigger about 6 feet from the guardrail.